So I think this will be finally the last video of my first year with my brand new to me and brand new 2022 KTM Duke 890R. I've been randomly ranting and raving about what a great machine this was or has been all year, so my opinion certainly hasn't changed. I would show you the dash odometer, but the key is out and the battery's out of it actually, so I'm not sure how well the audio is, but if I'm really quiet, I don't know how well you can hear it, but the wind's blowing at about 60 to 70 kilometers an hour and it started to snow, so not bad. I did ride the bike on October 30th, which isn't bad for this neck of the woods in terms of how late the season is. And the way it works in Manitoba as well, you pay for your vehicle licensing for the entire summer. I don't even want to go into how expensive it is. It's obscene. What ends up happening is that the month of, if you ride in April, and even one year I rode in March, and you ride in October, you're technically riding for free, but for God's sake, they certainly charge you enough for the 5 months of riding anyway. So what am I pointing at here? Well, these are some new brake levers, and I've kind of had a mixed opinion on these Shorty brake levers, mainly because there's some real crap out there. I've bought bikes, or I've bought parts that had, Shorty levers already installed, and usually they're crap, but I have to admit these ones from Raximo, and this is the second stuff I've bought from Raximo. I did buy some engine covers, which I've since switched out, but these are pretty impressive quality stuff. And as you can see, they're from Deutschland, TÜV approved, mit AB, or ABE. I'm not sure what TÜV stands for, and there's an umlaut in there, so knowing it's something in German, that's quite a tongue twister. But anyway, the levers come in from Germany, and this TÜV approved, if I understand correctly, any parts sold in Germany, if they're TÜV approved, they've actually been approved by their Department of Transportation. So you know that Germans being Germans, and I'm part German, so I can make this this blanket statement. They're known for quality, and they're not going to put crap on the road. So likewise, when you think about brake levers, you don't want crap. So anyway, they come in this box, very nice. You have a choice on lever styles in terms of adjustable length. They have some breakaway levers, and you can come with custom colors. So I went absolutely wild. Well, here's the instruction manual, or the Ergänzende yeah, I won't even try that. How to install it. Anyway, simple, really easy. I was worried that with the RCS adjustable span, I guess, between 19, 20, and 21 millimeter, just the way the brake master cylinder feels, that would be a problem. But they've come up with their own solution here with an adjustable dial here, which is sehr gut, and adjustable span here from 1, I've got it adjusted at 5, but 1 all the way up to 6. 5 seems about right. And it being shorter and where your fingers naturally fall on the lever, I had to push both the brake and the clutch lever in. So anyway, I put them on, rode another 120 kilometer loop through some of my favorite roads, and again, they're great. A lot of the Chinese stuff that you get have a lot of slop. There's a bit of slop in there, but that's the same as the OEM stuff. So remove this one pinch bolt. I think that's an Allen bolt, and a M10 on M10 10 millimeter nut on this side. Pull one out, put one in, put a little bit of grease on the pivot. This was actually slightly, I wouldn't say harder. The pivot bolts here, slack off the cable, pull this out, put the new one in, and again, to me, the main reason why, I suppose, is that, again, if I'm doing track days, the idea of the lever not extending beyond the edge of the bar or the slider is a good thing, because if you do go down on a low side, you can probably finish off the day because you haven't busted off the lever. If you have busted off the lever, then my original ones I'll keep in the spares kit at the track. And there's a fine line between busting off a lever and wrecking your bar. So anyway, it's something to have in the kit. And the idea is that I bought both of these levers for less than the price of one replacement Brembo RCS lever. So style is to each their own, but they feel good, they work great, and again, if I do low side the bike, I'm not wrecking the fancy Brembo stuff. And they're impossible to find used, so I would be buying new anyway, and that could be staggeringly expensive. So anyway, so those are the levers. I highly recommend them. 99 euro from Raximo, and €9 to ship to Canada, plus FedEx took their slice in import costs. So anyway, just make sure that if you got an 890R, the front master cylinder style is different than the 790 or the 890 base or the 890 GP. So yeah, that's this. I highly recommend it. I think I'll be keeping these. And as you can see, I've already got the cover on them. Just move it back far enough to talk about this exhaust. It took 3 or 4 tries, I guess, but I finally got an exhaust that's just right, and that it's not too loud, it's not too quiet. I like how it orients. I like how it follows the line of the tail section there. Fit and finish are fantastic. It's one of the cheaper exhaust options out there for a 790 or 890 Dominator exhaust from Poland. I think it would be ear-burstingly loud if you had a cat delete as well, but with the catalytic converter in there, it's just, in my mind, it's just perfect. So I've got the Black Widow / Fake Rapovic up for sale. I'm giving it away, so if you're interested, you can direct message me. I've got it posted on a bunch of forums, but I think I've got it listed for 125 US, which was about 1/3 of what I paid. So it is what it is. If no one buys it, I'll keep it. Maybe I'll find a use for the exhaust system on yet another project that I may be working on. So what I've been doing a lot lately is looking at belly pans. Now, it's a running joke about how many times I've retired and come back to racing, and the concept of throwing this bike up the road for a club race to get a medallion, or probably not, because the class is such that I'm racing against 600, 750s, 1000s. I'm not going to be fighting for podiums in this whatsoever. It's not a slow bike by any means, but it's such a fantastic bike to ride on the track. I keep thinking, well, geez, like, it is, from a club racer's point of view, hokey as it might be, ready to race, as it says on the dash every time. And the KTM Power Parts belly pan that is bolt-on, they claim should be starting to have orders filled in December of 2022, probably for next season. The S2R one out of France is available right now. There's another one out of France that's also available right now. I'm not keen on how it mounts, though. It uses some, I guess, there's threaded bungs all over the bottom of that engine, I think specifically for belly pans or accessories of some sort. These ones don't use those, and they use some of the M6 bolts on the side of the engine, which to me seems needless. It might be easier to mount that way, but when you've got an M8 open bung on the bottom of the engine, specifically threaded for what seems like some sort of bracket, you should use that. Anyway, it's the cheapest, but what I've learned, and most people realize, is that KTM Power Parts are meant for the bike. I haven't seen one in the flesh. They've been on back order forever. Even the KTM Moto America guys, Andy DeBrino, I think Chris Fillmore, they're using the S2 ones because they're simply not available yet. So what am I getting at? Well, it's a belly pan away from being a race legal bike in a club race. You know, switch up some caliper bolts with something that's drilled, and it's literally good to go. I would have to change out the coolant for water, but you know, again, it's sort of this romantic concept of the daily driver street bike is a race bike on the weekends. And I've already got the second set of wheels set up for street tires. I've got some Dunlop Q4s for the track. You know, there was a time in every club's existence where that's what guys did. They rode their bike to the track. They let 5 or 6 psi out of the tires. They went hard on the warm-up lap, maybe took it easy on the first lap of the race, and then raced the bike and rode it home. This goes to the track on a trailer, but considering it takes under an hour with decent tires to make this race ready, to add another half an hour or so of time of swapping out wheels to put on sticky track tires, it's a pretty fantastic option. And to that end, a guy on one of the forums was selling an aftermarket tail. So this isn't an OEM one. This is an aftermarket one, but it fits very well. And I've already tried it, and of course I've put some numbers on it again, you know, to think, oh, I'm going to be a track day guy and put numbers on my bike. Might as well. I'm taking the headlights off anyway, and it takes 4 bolts to take off the entire rear light assembly. So it's like I'm running out of excuses not to race the thing. So something to think about anyway. And how many times do I race? Am I going to race, you know, a 5-round championship, or am I just going to go out on the weekends where work and other commitments allow? So anyway, something to think about, because I'll have 5 months of miserable, bitter winter here in Manitoba to think about what's happening next season. So the other thing too is that SAR in Brennan, Manitoba, Canada, where I bought the bike, they had an open house. One of my track buddies, I actually bought an RC8R off him last year that got me back in the KTM fold, which I then flipped and cashed in on this bike. They had an open house. So they had a bunch of things on sale. They gave me some extra discounts, so I just might have walked home with a bright orange shirt and some stickers and a proper race jug. These things are fine, but I don't know how many times I've spilled fuel on myself. It's kind of ungainly pouring that into a motorcycle tank, so that's why I bought this. And it's funny, I'm sure it is the same as, you know, I don't know if it's Moose or Meyer or one of those, you know, plastic companies that make, you know, pit parts. They just molded one in orange, put a KTM decal on it. Now it's a KTM approved product. But anyway, easy to haul around, and it makes it look a bit full factory. I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about again were these amazing tires that are amazing when it's warm and dry. The last time I went out for a ride, it was probably around 11 or 12 degrees, sunny, not too windy, but it was chilly on the bike for sure. And I really did not feel comfortable on the tires. And I know guys talk about how all the tires work at certain temperatures and they need to warm up, but I think it was a combination of the road temperature and ambient temperature, the fact that the back tire is almost square, that I didn't feel super confident with them on the street when it was cooler temperatures, which again makes sense. These are a few degrees separated from being track day only tires. I can't believe they are approved for street use, because they're basically a cut slick. But if you are riding one of these things in cooler weather or rainy weather, I definitely suggest swapping them out for something that's a bit more street oriented. So that's where those Dunlop Street Sport or Sport Smart or Sport Street, whatever they are, tires I bought at the end of the season on sale and are firmly ensconced inside in the warm on black rims, are going to come in handy on the street. Certainly enough grip for street use, will work better in the cold, and hopefully won't square off as quickly as the back tire did. So these will be levered off, and who knows, maybe I can sell the front at the track for 20 bucks next season, but the rear is definitely toast. So yeah, this is going under the covers for a long time. The fuel stabilizer's in the tank, Battery's out and inside. I'll put it on the trickle charger every couple months to keep it topped up. Coolant should be good to survive the minus 20-25 degrees that's gonna get in here. And yeah, this could be my last vlog for 2022. So anyway, if you have been following along, thanks so much. If you have been if you haven't subscribed, great. If you've made comments, thanks so much. I appreciate that. It is helpful. These aren't too hard to do, and again, I'm not a professional blogger by any means, but it's fun to post stuff on YouTube and Facebook and get some feedback. So I'll spend the next few months dreaming about passing those pesky 600s around the outside of turn 1 and on the inside of turn 3. Have a great winter and see you in 2023 or sooner.